Morris. I'm coming here from my studio / dining room in Ringgold, Georgia, working on some slate for cats, teas, and jewelry. So we're in the studio today working on slate. So I've got my slate here that I've gotten from the quarry, which is step 1. Step 2 is sorting it out, so you can see it's pre-sorted, and this is something I'll be working on some earring pieces today. These are all meant to be earrings, so hopefully I've got a nice new batch coming. So all these will be in the Emerald City colors today. So anyway, so what I do, you see a setup here. We got a grinder here, and all things that work with stone or whatever, they all work with water. So we've got a water reservoir here. I've got my extra water here because it will use it very fast. And then I've got a bucket that will kind of take the extra as this reservoir gets full. So let's get going. I'm going to turn on the grinder, and I'm going to take this piece here, and let's just see. It looks kind of plain right now. It's got some sandstone strides in it, but let's shape this thing up. We like the slate to be, lightweight enough to where when you're wearing this as a pair of earrings, I don't want you to even feel like you got a pair of earrings on unless you're swishing your head around a bunch. So these be lightweight enough and shaped in such a way that pretty much almost anybody can wear them, even if you deal with not wanting to wear heavy earrings. So you can see that shape changed quite a bit. Now we have something that's a lot more shaped. I'll probably use this side, and then I'll come back later and maybe smooth out these edges just a hair with some sandpaper, and then that one's ready to go. And then what I will do is I will place this on a cookie sheet so I can start seeing what I've got in the way of pairs. Right, so I want, obviously, when you wear a pair of earrings, in most cases, you want them to be the same, right? So as I'm grinding them, I try to kind of group them so that I'm looking at earrings that are similar enough. I mean, this is an organic shape, and, part of their cool factor is that they're not always exactly the same, but we do want them the same enough, where they look like they are a pair. So a lot of people like these little smaller shapes like this one. This is a very small shape. It's about 3/4 of an inch, but that will be a popular size. And I may or may not add beads to that, to add just a teeny tiny bit of length to that, and a little more personality. So that's just a little one. Let's try for a bigger one. I don't see any matches to where I've started here, but I'm just going to grind away and work on the shapes that are coming based on the piece of slate that I got. Now this one's kind of thick right here. You can see it's kind of thick, so I don't know that this is actually going to make a good earring. But as I get into it here, I'm going to figure that out. So I don't like any sharp edges. I don't want any rough edges. I don't want you to ever worry that the slate is going to snag a sweater or something that you're wearing. So I take a lot of care in trying to make sure that all those things are not there. They're not present. So right now I'm grinding off this sort of thickness, so you can see here in just a second this one has changed quite a bit. So now, even though it needs to be cleaned, it's actually changed shape. I think that's very usable now, and I'll just shape it just that little bit more at the place where I think we're going to drill a hole in it to make it an earring. So now I've got a third size. It's fatter than that one. I may come back eventually and make this one a little bit thinner so that those match. We'll see what else I come up with while I'm grinding. So this one's kind of weird. It's it's a funky shape, but not everybody wants a short, small earring. So what I'm going to do is just see what this one kind of turns into. I got some gals that have long hair that buy these earrings, and they like their earrings long. So I do have I've sold all but one pair of the Emerald City so far. So what we're doing is I'm making sure I've got more in the collection now. I will make mostly small earrings today. But this one looks like it's going to be a nice longer one, or heck, I might make it into a pendant, but we'll see. When I get all done, it just kind of Depends on how it ends up, you know. This one might be a little bit heavy for earrings. I don't know. It's really light. So I'm gonna shape that up for earring, and we'll see if I get a match to it. So it's really not too long. It's not even quite 2 inches. So that'll be good. So I've been working on the slate for a while now. You can see I've got the tray. I've got some pairs of pieces that I have ground down and turned into pairs of earrings. Of course, they'll have to be rinsed off. It's sort of a mud that's left behind after the grinding. We're close to getting done with this batch of slate. You'll see we've got different sizes here. Some of the smaller, like 1 inch. We've got a few that are even smaller than that. And just trying to get all different sizes that will pour with the Emerald City palette. So hi, we're back in the studio, this time in our garage/studio. This is where I keep all the supplies for art shows and really all the making of the jewelry. So we're in here because this is where I've got much better lighting. And what I'm doing now is, you can see my tray. I've kind of rinsed off all of the slate and then patted it dry. So you can see this one has quite a bit of sandstone in it, but the 3 pendants came out of that. And then actually 44 pairs of earrings out of what I ground down today. So now what I'm doing is just taking a sanding block to get those last little, little rough edges off. You see this kind of a little squarish edge there. And so what I'm doing there is I'm just taking that off. Again, I don't want any kind of rough edge to snag on anybody's hair, their clothing, or anything like that. I just want it to be, still want this organic shape, but I want it to be smooth. So after we do this, next thing is drilling the holes from the master driller.